Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining our Summer Exchange webinar series. Today we have Roland DGA, and they will be presenting their topic, which is take your business to the next level with roll-to-roll printing. We have Daryl and Matt from Roland, and they will be doing some demonstrations as well as the presentation. So Daryl, Matt.
Well, thank you for having us. I really appreciate it. Again, like Tara said, my name is Daryl Chaffins. I am the regional sales manager here at Roland DGA for the Southeast region. I'm joined by my colleague, Matt Koenigsmann. He runs our beautiful Imagination Center here in Atlanta, Georgia. And he is also an application specialist for us that is an absolute guru in UV printing. He has run or done about every application for about every UV printer probably in the industry. And if there is anything that you could produce on a UV roll-to-roll or even a UV flatbed machine, Matt could probably produce it. So he is an absolute expert in this industry. Again, thank you for having us. Today, our topic is going to be on how to build your business around our UV roll-to-roll printers. And we're going to focus primarily on our brand new LG series of our TrueViz products. So recently, Roland DGA expanded our industry-leading TrueViz product line to include not just eco-solvent print cut devices. We added our UV print cut machines on roll-to-roll options and resin technology as a roll-to-roll option. So now we have an expanded product portfolio that falls under our industry-leading TrueViz product line. And today I'm going to focus mostly just on our new UV roll-to-roll products, and I'm getting frustrated because I can't get my clicker to work. So there's the three different technologies that we have now in our TrueViz product line. A quick overview of our UV products. There's two different series of products that we have for our UV print cut devices now, the LG and the MG. The LG I would consider to be our Pro Series version. The highlights as far as UV roll-to-roll print cut devices is it's kind of an all-purpose wide format printer. It gives you the widest substrates that you can print on. The reason being that the ink is instantly cured. It's not really dry. If you know a lot about UV technology, the ink never really dries. As soon as that UV LED lamp basically flashes, it bakes or it cures the ink on top of the substrate and almost bakes it together, which makes it so that it is instantly cured. It's instantly scratch resistant. There is no outgassing. There is no dry time. It's really just print, sell, ship it out the door, and profit. Our new versions of that UV printers, both the MG and LG, have an outstanding color gamut. We have added an orange and red ink that we'll get more into a little bit later, but we've expanded the color gamut where we're able to hit upwards of 85% Pantone color with these devices, making it even more profitable for you to print with these machines. It's ideal for not just signage applications or not just packaging, commercial printing applications, signage, outdoor applications, you name it. It's really kind of the Swiss Army knife of the wide format durable graphics industry. The print cut accuracy on these new devices is better than any other printer that we've produced in the past. The huge advantage with UV ink, say over our eco-solvent inks or even resin inks, is the white opacity is unmatched. If you're going to be doing any type of applications where you're going to be using white ink, UV is absolutely the way to go. And also the ability to lay down gloss to do multi-layer or 3D type printing, where you can really do applications that are specialized and make additional profits that you couldn't make with previous technologies. Some common misconceptions from UV printing that I think kind of date back from years ago is that, it's kind of limited to certain materials. That couldn't be farther from the truth, Matt, wouldn't you say? As compared to eco-solvent and resin, I would say UV could by far print out more materials. Way fast technologies. People will say it's harmful to the environment. What would you say to that?
I don't really agree to that because all our inks are Green Guard certified, so these have no VOCs in them, no any at all. So it's extremely safe for interior and exterior graphics.
Maybe years ago, people thought that there was an inferior image quality when printed with UDB devices. That couldn't be farther from the truth today, especially with the products that we have now and our new industrial print heads. The image quality is outstanding, and the expanded colors, the expanded gamut that we get from the orange and red inks, which we'll go into detail some more later and show you examples of, it's amazing. That people think UV printing is expensive. What would you say to that?
UV printing is slightly, probably a little bit more than what solvent printing could be, but what your abilities to do with this, and then some applications don't require any lamination, so the expense cost isn't really that much of a difference compared to Eco Solvent, which is the flagship of everybody in the sign industry.
Yeah, and I would say that might be a misconception to people who maybe saw our old LEC models years ago at a trade show. That sure, they were a much more expensive investment upfront to get those machines. Those were upwards of $60,000. These days, we are making printers that are much faster, much higher quality, much easier to use. They have expanded gamut inks, and the price point is competitive with Eco Solvent or resin latex printing. UV printing may be slower. Again, I think that's a misconception maybe from LEC models of the past. These new industrial print heads on our LG models produce amazing output at incredible speeds. People might say that it's not good for vehicle graphics. You hear that a lot.
Yeah, definitely hear that a lot, which is really a misconception of what UV printing is capable of doing. Vehicle graphics, yes, it could do vehicle graphics. If you're trying to conform and do everything around corners and stuff like that, yes, our Eco Solvent is going to be best for that always. But just ruling out vehicle graphics whatsoever is always, it's a misconception. Because you can definitely use UV for that. Flat panel or flat panel bands along those lines. If it's a flat panel along those, you can definitely do printing with vehicle graphics.
And I feel a lot of folks think that maybe the RIP software is going to be a costly piece of software that you have to run these equipment, or it's going to be extremely hard to use when you're adding white layers and layers of gloss to do the embossing effect, which really couldn't be farther from the truth. These machines all run off of our VersaWorks RIP, which several customers know is extremely easy to use. And even Matt's going to go through how to set up some of these files and stuff a little later on in VersaWorks to show you that it is not all that hard. Some of these specialty applications where you're adding white and layers of gloss, and so on. So we've kind of touched base on this already. It's really the highlights of UV being all purpose, so fits a wide array of applications. The broadest substrate capabilities makes it's an easy changeover when you're changing over substrates. Plus, because UV ink doesn't actually sink into the material or interact as much with the media as, say, like Eco Solvent ink does, it's limited as far as the profiles that you need. So it's much easier to change over from one media to the other. A lot of times you're not even having to change profiles, right? Because of the way that the ink sits on top of the substrate. And then again, one of the biggest features, no finishing, no outgassing. It's instantly cure. You're saving time, you're saving money, and you're making more money. We've talked about the excellent color gamut, and then the multi-layer printing options where you're adding layers of gloss ink allows you to create more high-value, unique applications. Let's talk about some of those applications. So we've got plenty of samples here in the background, but one of the kind of primary type customers that will purchase this piece of equipment, and by no means is it limited to that, is a customer who wants to get into doing labels and packaging applications. So print, cut, crease applications. A bunch of samples here that we can show people.
We have a bunch of various samples that will be able to. Definitely a big industry is the sticker industry. Being able to get that production fast, but like having to wait for it to dry. You don't have to wait for anything to dry, and your value add to this is actually adding your cloth effects to that, and then you're able to charge a more premium, price for that product. Being able you're doing that customization, so you're going to get a lot more advantages with the UV technology with that gloss ink. I've seen so many applications, especially on the packaging side. Prototype boxes, along those lines, cellophane, doing like, any kind of application with that. So it definitely, with the, by opacity, you're able to do a lot more in a special application with that.
I don't know if you can see kind of the raised gloss effects of the camera. Fortunately, this might not be the best way to show these applications. But this does have layers of gloss where you're getting a raised textured effect on there, along with our red and orange inks and the colors that we're hitting on this print sample. We could get it to zoom in. You're not going to hit those by any means with any type of regular CMYK printer or CMYK printer with just light cyan and light magenta. You need those orange and red inks to be able to hit those specialty spot colors that we're hitting on these type of prints. What else we got here? Even this is a good display of some of the reds, orange that we're able to hit with these machines. And by no means is it limited to being a decal or sticker printer. You absolutely can do outdoor signage applications with these machines. And in fact, that is a fantastic application for these printers. The ability to add the orange and red again and different textured effects, be able to do flat panel, vehicle wraps, banners, soft signage, all of these applications are perfect for UV. We already kind of talked a little bit about flat panel vehicle wraps, right?
Right. Yeah, we already talked about that. Really into, that's no problem. That's definitely one of those techniques I have to do hear about a lot. And then, the short term, mid term, and long term storage. I mean, long term applications. It's perfect for all of those aspects. Most applications don't really need any lamination. So, but if you're trying to get that long term, always lamination is always good, for those applications. But for a majority of it, you can print, instantly dry, it's ready to go. Unlike, solvent printer, when you're printing on it, you get the material feels a little bit soft after you print that. That's the reaction that solvent's doing to the face stock of that media. UV, it's instantly dry, it's still rigid. So then you pull something off, it's the way how it came off the roll. So you're not having to wait for anything along those lines. Backlit applications is extremely for UV printing technology.
And why would you say that is?
Being able to UV ink is translucent. We can do the 3-layered effect with color white color. So all of you folks who are doing electronic signage for your pen face fronts on your storefronts, that color white color is going to get you that same color. So your day effect and your night effect is going to be the same. It's not going to extremely flip over and then look, washed out. Being able to layer UV inks on top of each other, it gives you that special effect and what you can actually do with that. And later on, we'll show you on our MG unit on how the workflow is possible, where you can do a actual 3-layered print in all of one setting now. So also retail applications for your storefront, static clean, do front and back and a different image on front and back. You can actually do that with new technology with layering effects.
And even simple things like glossy calendar vinyl. For label and packaging applications. This is printed on cardstock. It's an application where we have done layers of printing where there's white CMYK. We've also done the gloss and embossing effect, plus this machine scored it and it cut it to create one packaging application. I like the packaging. So anyway, short run packaging or packaging prototyping. This is an application where you can make a lot of money. Like one packaging prototype box like this could easily sell for upwards of $250.
Yes,
this is
correct.
Not just a sticker application.
Right. That's the benefits of that. It's not a one-trick pony. That's why we call it the Swiss Army knife of printing, because you can do so many versatile things with this, along those lines. So it's, very flexible. And then going into interior decoration, doing those, permanent graphics, temporary graphics, fine art, definitely where it shines at in print quality. LED displays. So, the same thing. If you get those backlit LED displays, you set in your facility and you have, graphics in there where they're meant to be backlit. You're able to produce those type of items with that. Material compatibility is extremely wide, like we already spoke about. So you can put any kind of regular materials in there, plus any kind of colored materials, whatever that is. If you have, some special canvas materials that are colored or anything along those lines, you can, with the utilization of white ink, you can actually, produce a high quality product of what you're wanting to do.
What is this material?
So this material that Daryl's holding here is our holographic film with a special gloss and embellishments on certain aspects of the file. So that's one of the benefits of clear ink is what you can do with that, special effect with that gloss. You can definitely make things stand out and pop. And then you're turning that product into a more valuable thing, so you can charge more and make more money off of that product as well. So it gives you a lot more options.
Again, specialty graphics, more profit for you as a customer.
Yes. And POP displays always is the big thing, interior or, those pop-up banner stands, anything along those lines. Anything basic that's EcoSolvent can do, this can do that plus more. So it's definitely, something to take into consideration, especially if someone already has an EcoSolvent printer and wanting to dive into more diverse applications. You're able to, definitely open up your, opportunity a lot larger.
Saving us time.
All right, so now we're going to do a quick overview over our LG and MG printers. I'm going to talk about the LG first. This is our newest release of our, this is more of a productivity UV printer cutter. So this is based on our TrueViz platform. So as you see, our VG3, our LG, MG, our AP are now under the TrueViz umbrella. So you notice they all look the same. They all have the same characteristics now. So the nice thing about the LG series is the lower running cost of ink with the 750 milliliter pouches that you now have available. So, and then we also have multiple configurations available for your needs. From dual CMYK to 8-color with orange and red, gloss and white as well. So you're able to get the expanded color gamut that you're wanting, plus still having special effects of your white and gloss. So definitely opens up a lot more opportunities for you.
And by far the most popular configuration that we sell for this machine would be the CMYK orange, red, white, and gloss. So you can do the orange, red, white, and gloss would be the expanded color gamut of your orange and red inks, plus you get the special effects of the gloss, the additional application,
So I know you see probably primer in there as an application. That gets you more into more difficult materials that may, maybe have some adhesion issues or any kind of specialty item. That's where primer can actually fit in as a workflow for you as well. So that's, as for UV, as far as object printing or flatbed sheets, stuff like that, you can have a primer in here as an option too, if it's some kind of, really difficult material that you're trying to work on. So we have that flexibility for you. Just some more product features of the LG. As we see, 750 milliliter pouches. So we're in now pouches instead of cartridges, more green friendly. As I said earlier, these are, Eco UV Green Guard certified by 3M. So you have that certification of low VOCs. So it's extremely safe for indoor and or outdoor graphics. One of the special features to the LG unit along certain ink configurations is being able to print CMYK and a gloss varnish together. That is a new addition to the LG unit. So this in previous models, we used to have to pull back the media to do a gloss finish in a certain configuration though that you see there. If it's a CMYK white and gloss configuration, you can actually run those two together as one pass. So all you folks out there are doing, a lot of stickers, stuff like that, and wanting to do that, workflow with gloss, spot color. You can actually run that in all one sitting now without having it to pull back and print that. So it gives you, a lot more faster workflow. It gives you a lot more things to think about and what you're able to produce. All right, just some other product features on the LG. We talked about the ink capacity. Have a 7-inch touchscreen panel now, so you have everything that at your fingertips is what your most common features that you're going to use on this printer, plus seeing your ink levels, and then going into more advanced features in the menu is very nice and laid out. You can see everything that what you're doing, so you definitely are going to have that ease of use of this printer is extremely, it's right there. Everything is very informative for you. And definitely like on the maintenance aspect of this printer, everything is actually shows you step by step on what to do. So we tried to do a little more, adding more things to it that help, make it easier for everybody to use. LG unit as well, 2 staggered print heads. So that's where your production speed comes in at. So that's where you're able to get those, where we can run that white and CMYK and gloss together in other configurations and get more speed out of the printer. Take-up unit is always included in all of our printers. That is a totally newly redesigned take-up unit. It's totally adjustable. You can actually do your print and cut workflow with the take-up unit, no problem. So everything's been totally re-innovated from, previous models that we've had. And of course, our warranty information, it's always been the same, 2-year trouble-free warranty. You can also extend that up to 5 years of coverage if you want to. And then once you register your printer, you're actually able to, get access to our Roland DGA Academy, where you can get additional training. And then, of course, we get your phone support and also chat support on the website now. Additional product features that I talked about, the 2 staggered print heads. So you do have that speed. And as you can, see they're listed, the LG can print up to 172 square feet per hour in a standard mode, which is pretty much my go-to for about everything. But in your draft mode, which is a totally sellable print, in CMYK, you get up to 343 square feet per hour. So that's where you can really crank out some speed and really crosses off that myth about, UV printing being slow.
And these dual staggered heads, these new heads are industrial heads.
Yeah, they're industrial heads
that are to last years and years. They are the key component of why we are able to print at the speeds we're printing at with the amazing quality that we are able to print with this machine. These guys are really different if they're on these products.
Also we have our DG Connect software that gets added to, your system. This is actually a cloud-based software that will monitor your maintenance. And actually, if you put in your values, you can actually track your job costs and the ink costs and anything along those lines. You can actually do your firmware updates on the printer. So we're giving you a lot more tools for these items so you can actually, better control them better. And we just want you to be, confident in the product. So it gives you all those tools that you need. Touchscreen panel. So here's a better view of it up close of what this would look like. This is on all of our TrueViz models, the AP, LG, not the MG, but the VG3. So you got your touchscreen where you can see your ink levels. So everything's nice and laid out cleanly. If you have a heaters on there for the VG3 models, you can control your heaters just right there at the touch, touching the touchscreen, you can control that. Take-up unit. And all your basic items at the bottom of the screen, your cancel, your setup, your nozzle test, your blade adjustment for doing your cutting. If you needed to move your base point or do a sheet cut, which we know, speaking of sheet cut, we've added a new option to this, which is called a perforated sheet cut. Really good for your applications where if you're doing tons and tons of stickers and you do them in groups, and then you can actually sheet cut that section, but leave it perforated so it's actually still rigid and attached to the roll. So when you do it, if you're trying to do a whole roll of these things, you can keep that together, you can pull that whole roll out, and then you can rip it off in certain sections where you have, everything nice and neat and rolled together instead of having sheets fall on the floor or whatever have you. So you do have that availability. So
what's your favorite new feature, control panel?
Oh, the favorite feature of the control panel is definitely, having that sheet cut option right there, that perforation. That is a totally new thing. And then going into the menus, if you go in more in advanced options, you can see everything. One of the nice things about the TrueViz models is being able to do your calibrations automatically too. We do have that option to where you can actually print the patterns out, then it'll scan it all, and then it'll actually adjust itself. So that is new technology also to our TrueViz line. So now we're going to go back to MG. I want to talk about that a little bit too. So this was previously the LEC2. So this is the successor to that. So this is the same features as LEC2, but we got the lower cost. We have a newer lamp in there. This option is perfect for those who are doing the packaging prototypes, where you can add the extended table, or you can add a tension bar. So if you're running super thin material like cellophane, like I mentioned earlier, you can actually run this with no problem, and you need with these tools that are available. So these come in 500 milliliter ink cartridges, same UV5 ink. This is smaller capacity. And then, this brings us into your, getting started, your entry level UV printer cutter now. So we have, anything to suit your needs, from just, a packaging prototype printer all the way up to a big sign printer that's going to produce lots of speed on the LG unit. So just something to take into
So you
consideration.
can do all of the exact same applications.
Yes.
It's a print cut device. It's just slower.
Yeah.
So the LG is going to be 2.5 times faster. Is that
Yeah, about 2.5 times faster.
Okay.
You got one print head on MG versus 2 staggered print heads on the LG.
The MG is going to have smaller ink cartridges.
Yeah.
They're 500 milliliters, whereas the LG has the 775. So the ink is going to be a little less expensive, but it's the same exact inks. So you can do all of the same things in all the same applications. The MG comes in a 30 and a 64-inch model. The LG, which I would call the Pro Series version, comes in a 30, a 54, and a 64-inch model.
Other things about that red and orange ink, if you're doing those corporate colors, let's just say Home Depot orange or whatever have you, with those expanded color gamuts, you're going to be able to have that, hit that with no problem. So that's one thing to take into consideration, what an expanded gamut is going to do for you if you're really into corporate colors. So just some basic features of the MG unit. It's still, if you've seen the LEC2 unit, it's pretty much the same unit, just, different, color in the covers, and UV lamp is actually the difference, where it's a different UV lamp now. So it also brought the price down of the unit as well. So, and then, take-up unit is also included. The loading mechanism in the back is the same now as the VG3. So you have a simple one-touch loading operation, turning of thumb screws, just flip the lever down, load your media in, feed it through the printer, and go. So we've definitely taken a lot of things into consideration and making it easier for you to use.
Setup time for all of these devices. We've got previous versions.
Yes, it's literally, within seconds of being able to set this up. So as I just spoke with the UV lamps and the features, so we changed our UV lamp on these models. So it's a lower cost now, and then the loading mechanism is now the same as our other models. So simple, as you see there in the illustration, flip your lever down, put your roll in, lock it in place, and go. So on the MG series right now that is available, this just got released, is new one-pass multi-layer printing. So those of you who are wanting to do those backlit applications where you're doing color, white, and color, before we had this set it to where we pull the media back, and then it had to come back and do the color layer again. So with the MG, you're actually able to produce this all in one sitting now. It all depends on what configuration is in your printer. As you can see in the chart listed there, certain configurations will do certain options. Your color, white color, or you can do white color, then you can put a matte varnish gloss on there. If it's a true gloss, then it's going to be a full back on that. But if you're wanting to do that matte varnish layer as your final, you're able to do that in one run. So and then if you have your primers in there, you actually can do, primer white and color, and then primer color, and then white, whatever, application suits your needs. So you have a lot more versatility now.
And what's the most common application?
most common application I would use this for is your color white color for backlit, for your, if you're trying to mount your film to like a pan face, for a storefront or anything along those lines. This is actually going to give you more productivity as far as that goes. And then to be able to control your colors, with our VersaWorks software as well. So you do your named special colors and along those lines.
So you're seeing the same image on both sides.
Yeah, so you're putting your color image, you're putting a white base underneath on top of that, and then you're putting your color back on top. So when the image, when the light turns on and during the nighttime, it's going to look the same as it does in the daytime. Being able to UV ink, it's translucent, you're able to produce this and layer like that.
Now, this might seem like something that somebody might say, oh, this is complicated. Program software, this seems like something much more complicated than me just producing a banner or a sticker on a solid printer. You want to go ahead and show them why we feel like this isn't that complicated?
Yeah, we'll show you. I have to show you how this application goes. This is brand new, so it's good for those of you to see how this actually works and how easy it is to use. Definitely, that conception of being really hard to operate grip software is definitely, you can cross that out. This is by far the easiest workflow possible with the VersaWorks software and our printers. By far gives you that peace of mind and easier use.
So it sounds complicated, but by no means.
Switch my screen here.
Eric, can you guys still hear us fine?
Yes.
No feedback in your ear. It's hard to tell if you're just talking.
Second, let me close this PowerPoint down. All right, so now I got my VersaWorks set up here. As you see, I have my four printers in my office that are currently running off of this computer. That's one of the added benefits of our VersaWorks 6 software is being able to run 4 printers all at one same time. And then there's no licensing on the software. It's always included with all of our printers free of charge, and you get unlimited updates. As long as you have the printer, you're able to update the software. And you're able to update the firmware on the printer as well through DG Connect. So you have a lot more, capabilities now. So taking a look at the MG unit. So if we wanted to actually do a color white color workflow with this, it has to be up to date on the latest 6.18 version of VersaWorks. So as you can see right there, this is the latest update. If that isn't up to this date, you will have to do that before you can use this feature. So as you see, I have my image in here, and I actually duplicated this 3 times, or actually 2 times, sorry. So all I have to do is bring in one instance of this file, and then I can right click and say I want to duplicate this job, and I can actually do that and rename it to whatever I want it to be. So then we can actually highlight all 3 of these, holding down the Shift key and clicking on the first one, then the last one, it'll highlight them all together. So then you can actually right click, and then you'll see a new option in here called Generate Layer Job. So this is, like I said, this is brand new for the MG unit at this time. So then once we come into that, it's going to group it together. And then we're able to edit the settings on how we want this job to run. So then I can say I want to do multi-pass printing. And it's going to generate that. And then we're able to adjust our settings for this file. So now you'll see it's going to generate this together. You can see you can actually turn off your layers on what is what. So if you see your white layer is right there, and you can actually visually see your layers now in the screen.
And then you can actually see your print mode on what you're wanting to do, your media type. So if you're wanting to do generic or a generic label along those lines, you have that availability. And then your print mode. So you can see my CMYK white and then CMYK. So once you have that all set up, you can actually, ready to go. It's ready to print. That's how easy this is with the new update. You can actually layer these together with just using the one pass multiplayer printing. So if you're wanting to do, add additional layers, you're definitely going to want to have to use the pullback, or it pulls back and then it does prints an additional layer if you wanted to do that. But here is, very simple and easy. You can still use your cut controls if you're trying to do, multi-layer and then still cut. So you do have those tools still available to you. So if this was a sticker and you wanting to do the cut after this, you can control that all still through here with this option. And that is pretty much, very easy, quick and dry, ready to go. This is ready to print already. And then I can hit OK. And then this is going to go right into your ready to print. Yeah, go back to that.
And it's a similar type workflow if you were going to do this day-night backlit sampling factor, right?
Yes. So if you were doing a day-night backlit sample,
Really cool. So
you're going to do. That's one of the big things with UV. It's sort of hard to see through the video. This is where you can actually do, two contrasting images and then have one base image that's still the same, where you're just changing an image in the background. So as it's off, it's one image. And then when the light turns on, the actual layer in the back is going to shine through. So you're able to get that, special effect on the day-night application, which is very big, very, unique thing that you can produce with UV printing.
So again, just to summarize, just some key features of the LG printer. Amazing print speeds. 172 square feet an hour in standard mode. And like Matt said, we pretty much use standard mode for everything. It's the new improved industrial print heads for the last several years. It's not something that is usually replaceable or anything like that, or that you would have to change out very often. Incredible image quality off of those print heads. The expanded gamut inks, which allow you to hit really hard to hit corporate color. Coca-Cola reds, Home Depot orange, T-Mobile pink. Those are all colors that you would never be able to hit in the past with just standard CMYK or CMYK with lights or those configurations. The gloss, the matte, and 3D for special effects are all great ways to add applications that are higher value, higher dollar, higher margin applications to be able to offer your customers. The opacity of the white is another key component of UV. It's white ink. If you're doing anything with white ink, anything that's unclear, even anything with that clearback sticker, you're going to want to do that with white ink. You're not going to look at other technologies if that's your primary applications. It's instantly drying, scratch resistant right off the machine. The most accurate print cut device. And these are some stickers we previously made that are perfect already. So that feature where just go, pretty fun thing to do. A wide variety of medias, endless applications, good to get the inks that's on top of it, so it doesn't carry you print on. And this machine is just an outstanding machine to add to your printer portfolio, to add different applications, and just make more money for your business. Thanks. That's all we have. So if you want any additional information, products, please feel free to visit us at rolanddga.com or reach out to your Tube Light Denko sales representative. And if you want to request any type of print samples from us or schedule your own virtual demo or see if your own files printed, please reach out to your Tube Light Denko sales specialist and they will get a hold of us here at the Atlanta Imagination Center. And we are happy to produce those for you.
Tell me you want to come see me right here. person to person. Also on the Roland DGA website is our product picker. So you can actually pick, if depending on application you got. So if it's, let's say you're doing, car wraps and then you're doing banners, but then you're doing another application with white ink, that's going to go to more eco-solvent, but let's just say you're doing the stickers and, banners and this and that. That you falls in a UV category, it'll actually recommend you a couple of products to actually look at. So that gives you, a lot of easier, ways so you can actually research your product that way. But that is brand new on the Roland DGA website with the product picker. So just wanted to let you know about that as well. All right. Well, I think that was
Open it up to any questions.
open it up to any questions that you had and let's keep her going.
We don't have anything in the Q&A just yet, but I will leave it open for a minute to see if anybody posts anything in there.
Sure.
All right, well, no questions. That means you guys did awesome. Thank you so much for your time today and actually, hold on, somebody just raised their hand.
Got a question. Nice.
See if I can get their question. 1 second. Someone said that they missed the pricing on all three of the printers.
You know what? They did miss it because we didn't say it.
You didn't list it on there.
We didn't list it because there's 3 models that are on them. I'm happy to send that to you. If you guys at rolanddga.com and we list all of the starting pricing on there.
Oh, the promos and everything are all listed on there.
So if you go to the 3 LG models, that's current pricing.
They said, okay, no worries. They'll reach out to their sales rep. Thank you.
problem.
I'm waiting for that other question. 1 second. Let's see if he.
Sure, it's cool.
Okay, well,
I'm happy to add them on.
someone said model numbers, please.
Sorry, you sort of broke up a little bit there.
They were asking for the model numbers. I'm not sure if it was for all of these,
so
Yeah, the LG unit comes in an LG 300, which is your 30-inch, LG 540, and an LG 640. The MG itself is available in 30-inch and 64-inch. There's no 54-inch available for an MG.
So currently, can you still hear me?
Yeah.
The LG 640, which is the 64-inch model of the Pro version, the higher speed version that's got the dual staggered heads. The MSRP on that device is $27,995. The LG 540, which is the 54-inch version, is currently on promo for $23,995. The regular MSRP is $25,995, so that's $2,000 off. The LG 300 is currently on promo for $19,995, which is $1,500 off the regular MSRP. And the MG, which is the one head machine, that more entry level version, The 64-inch is on promo for $18,495, and the 30-inch is $15,995. And I can put I'll put the link to that in the chat.
Awesome. Well, if nobody has any other questions, I want to thank you guys again for your time and for, spending your time to put this, presentation on, and thank you all of those who attended. We appreciate your time as well. If you guys have any questions, you can also send them to marketing@tubelight.com, and we will be happy to forward them on to the appropriate sales rep. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Take care.